100 mortgages a year to Wells Fargo. The union threatened to end its endorsement after the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, and after reports that Wells Fargo was the banker for the National Rifle Association. Union President Randy Weingarten hopes to isolate the NRA.
This is the first time that others are starting to look at economic power as a way of mitigating their influence.
In a statement, Wells Fargo said the company wants schools to be safe, but that elected officials, not banks, should decide which products people can buy. Not all banks agree. Chase, Bank of America, Citigroup, and others have limited their ties to the gun industry. For NPR News, I'm Charles Lane.
Russia has joined other plaintiffs in demanding compensation from the U.S. for tariffs on imported steel and aluminum. Some longtime U.S. allies have won temporary exemptions from those tariffs. On Wall Street today, the Dow dropped 83 points. The Nasdaq was down 57 points. This is NPR.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, Technologic.
Live from studios in Self Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
Bruce. We got something that's humming.
Yeah, we do. I don't know what it is.
Bruce.
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 Yeah. Hello, Bruce. Your chair's empty, Bruce.
Where in the world is Bruce?
I don't know where Bruce is at.
One of these mics is humming.
Maybe yours.
Mute yours. No. That's that one. Well, we have. It could be that. It could be somebody's got that gain on the preamp turned too hot, Guru.
Oh, let's try this instead.
That's weird.
It's not. It's the gain is normal, so I don't know what it is. But we'll go with this tonight. It's good. It's all good.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well. Pardon me. Well, welcome to the Hey Techie Show. And whomever is listening, the Guru and I really appreciate it very much. Guru, how are you doing this evening?
Doing fantastic.
Fantastic, the Guru. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
But I'm missing Bruce.
I know. I'm going to go ahead and tell you Bruce is fantastic, too. I'm sure wherever he's at.
Oh, yes.
I had no idea. I didn't know whether he'd be here, and I don't even know if he knew we were having a show tonight. I have not been in direct contact with him lately. He's been very busy. And we have too. Me and the Guru, I've been swamped. So I'm just really keeping my head above water, and that's not saying a lot, to be really honest with you. But that's okay. We're getting there. With everything going on at the university, we're getting there. So, and hope you're doing okay. If you would like to send us a question, you can do that via email. We're sorry, still don't have phones fixed, but questions at HeyTechiesShow.com. Questions at HeyTechiesShow.com. And we'll be glad to take your questions. I'll show you. Also, you can go to HeyTechiesShow.com and click on the video link and be able to see us live.
Oh, yeah. You got that up there already?
I didn't put it up, so it's not up.
I didn't either.
Well, then I guess there's nothing up there. Oh. Sorry about that. We don't have anything at HeyTechiesShow.com. Unfortunately, we are behind. So we do. I guess you could go to our
YouTube channel.
Our YouTube channel. You could look that up, Hey Techie Show, on the YouTube channel, and you could find it there, and it would be live. So there you go. Or listen to us online, or right here on the lovely regular terrestrial radio.
It's a thing called radio.
Yeah, radio. You just Well, if you're listening to me, you've already found it. So I guess you can't really. If you're on the internet and you want to listen, 91.9, obviously.
Yeah.
So, Guru, you're doing well.
Yes, doing well.
Yeah. And things going okay for you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I had a little fun with a VM.
Oh, really?
That I admittedly didn't know a ton about. I don't deal with VMs much, quite honestly. And
for the layperson, VM stands
virtual machine.
Okay.
The layperson, yes. But it was actually, it was
actually on your watch.
No, it's not on my watch. Although we just the person, Stephanie, an hour ago was talking about watches, and that's a little subject that's good to talk about. Of course, she was.
We have our watches handy.
Yes, we do. And ours are digital, and I guess you could call them smart. Sure.
Well,
sometimes mine's a Smart Aleck. I don't know about smart, but anyway.
It'd be a lot smarter if it was an Apple Watch.
That is a topic that we're going to get into. I don't know about smarter. Well, maybe. Possibly. We may get into that.
Do yourself a favor and get an Apple Watch.
I've got a great article. Well, I say great. I don't want to call it that. It's a decent article about something particular. And I'd actually just caught something out of the corner of my eye that in a break I might try to read up on here so we can bring to the table here.
Okay.
But apparently Tim Cook has sounded off about Mac and the iPad.
Oh,
yeah, and let's see, just a snippet here. The actual, it's 9 to 5 Mac, and the actual article, and I haven't forgotten where I was at. I'll get back to the VMs. The actual article headline is Tim Cook says merging the Mac and iPad would require trade-offs and compromises. No kidding, Sherlock.
Yeah, don't tell me something I already know.
Right, But we'll read this, see if it's worth mentioning what his opinions are.
That rumor, if you want to call it a rumor, has been going on for years.
Oh, sure.
They've got two not competing platforms, but two different platforms, and there's always that speculation of how they're going to, if and how they will bring those together, which I don't see that happening, just to be honest with you.
And this is another breaking thing that I just found, and it may
breaking news.
Yeah, just be found while ago. This is something here. A report, a court apparently in Wisconsin, an appellate court, has ruled today that Arms List, which is an online classified ad site, specializing in firearms, according to this article from fastcompany.com, apparently can be sued in connection with a 2012 mass shooting at Brookfield, Wisconsin beauty salon.
I didn't know that was forthcoming.
I didn't either, but but my goodness, now we're going to allow online sellers to be sued for something that they weren't even there for. Seems like a really slippery slope to me, but we'll see. I'll read more and we'll see if there's any kind of information coming out of that would be worth our look. And we've got tons of stuff, a lot of Apple stuff tonight. Actually, Guru has a list. Of course, Guru is always on the radar for anything SpaceX, and
SpaceX,
they've had some
absolutely
rockets today. And anyway, my VM story, if I write it myself a mental note here, I will finish up later. We've got that coming up, and if you're interested in that and you want to know more about VM, I learned a few things today, actually. And yesterday,
really?
Yeah, I learned a few things I didn't know about how to do a particular thing, and it should have made sense, but sometimes when you're in a hurry, you don't do things how you probably should do them. When you're a tech, you just kind of muddle your way through it.
I got to get it done because somebody else needs me.
Right. You try to muddle your way through it. I actually thought I was doing the right thing, but apparently not. So, and let's see. I was trying to go down a little list here, Guru, of the sort of things that we got here and what we might discuss. A lot going on. As I said, SpaceX, of course, Facebook constantly in the news. Looks like Guru's got something here from Walmart.
Yes, I do. We'll talk about that later.
And of course,
I've given you my opinion about their e-commerce.
Right. Of course, not our show, but no one, I don't think anyone, unless you're just not paying attention, could not notice that Southwest is having a rough go.
Yes.
There's been a lot of problems here recently, especially over the few days of situations happening on a Southwest plane. and other planes too. But this happens. They definitely are getting the brunt of it. It seems like. I don't know why. It just
well, there's we need
supposedly there's reasons.
I have my opinions, but I'm going to keep those to myself.
That's fine
because we need to let the NTSB fully.
Oh yeah, I agree.
The incident that happened over Pennsylvania with that's been in the news if you've been following the news, but let's let the NTSB. That's their job to.
Oh yeah.
Investigate, and then they determine probable cause, what caused the accident. I mean, they recommend things to be done. They're not a governing. They can't impose rules, but they can recommend stuff to happen.
Right.
And one thing that's already came out of this is the FAA, which can impose rules on the airlines, is they're making all the airlines that use that same engine doing mandatory inspections.
Right.
Because there's a concern of metal fatigue and all that. So
yeah.
I think they're just let these folks do their job. That's what they get paid to do.
Well, I'm sure they will.
And I feel so bad for those that were injured, even the ones on the plane that weren't injured. I mean, that's just a terrifying experience to go through. I've never been through anything like that.
Correct.
And then my thoughts and prayers are with the family of the one that passed away. So apparently that one was where the window came out, and she was apparently partially taken out of the aircraft while it was at cruise.
Yeah, and I saw an interview, and I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw an interview of a nurse that happened to be on the plane and tried to assist medical attention to her. So
yeah, that's a shame. It's a sad situation for sure.
It is. It really is. But anyway, so who knows what we'll all get into. By the way, did you know, Guru, apparently David Copperfield, the famed magician.
Yeah, what about him?
Illusionist, he's being sued.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, over in England.
Did he make somebody disappear forever?
Well, no. That I'm being funny. No, that's good. I like that, Guru. Actually, apparently someone got hurt at the MGM during, I guess, one of his illusions. It's says here that it's the lucky number 13 illusion.
No, this is what it was. This is what.
You know what?
Oh, this is what it was.
You are fake news.
They were saying that David Copperfield, that was fake magic.
Right, it's fake magic.
Right. So like they pulled the Trump, you are fake news, you're fake magic.
Well, apparently the thing happened in 2013.
2013?
You know how these court law, you know how it takes forever.
It's like 5 years ago. But anyway.
The main point of this article is that the judge apparently, or the court has ruled, and I think it's a British court, that David Copperfield may have to tell or reveal some of the secrets of the vanishing trick he used involved in the case. So you may find out his illusion.
It's called magic.
Well,
enough said.
It's an illusion.
Mic drop.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, there's that little nothing burger there of a story. But I just thought it was funny. And so anyway, but hey, Techie Show, we'll be right back because the Guru is right on cue.
That's right.
The Guru right
on cue. Move it on, baby. We got to move on.
Hey, Techie Show, be right back.
We're just getting started. Plenty more Hey Techie Show for your listening pleasure.
Do you need a job? Are you stuck in a job you don't really like? Do you want to make more money? If you answered yes to any of these questions, your local Alabama Career Center can help you. Career Centers provide services to job seekers who are looking to land a job, make a career move, or to get some valuable vocational or educational training. Call or visit your local Career Center today, where professionals will help you with your resume, teach you how to nail that interview, and can even help you get training for that dream job. All of these services are available at no cost to you. The first step in finding your dream job is making sure you're prepared to land it. And don't just take our word. Keosha Smith, now an LPN, is very happy with the guidance she received.
My overall experience, I would say, was totally awesome. If you're looking for a job or if you want a better job, the Career Center would be a wonderful choice.
Visit us today, www.joblink.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Labor, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station. In Alabama, the recycling industry employs nearly 11,000 men and women. Recycling just 10% more would create an additional 1,400 jobs and $66 million in personal income. To learn about recycling opportunities in your area, contact the Alabama Environmental Council. Recycling works in Alabama. Brought to you by the Alabama Environmental Council, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Right now, it's a great time for anybody ready.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies show.
Little Danny Goki.
Oh, here you go, yeah.
Former American Idol.
Yeah, that's right, Danny Goki.
Celebrity, I guess you call him. I like Danny Goki.
Yeah, American Idol, which is on another show, another network now.
Correct.
And apparently has Katy Perry on it.
Katy Perry?
Yes.
Well, can you tell I watch it?
Well, no, I don't either, but... anyway.
Speaking of shows, I got hooked on a new show.
Me too.
Thanks to my Delta flight recently. This was the flight from San Diego back to Atlanta. You know, they have the in-flight entertainment, so pull it up because it's like a 4-hour flight. So
right, exactly.
You know, it's only so much you can look out the window. Anyway. So I was just flipping through, on the screen what they had, and I saw this one called Young Sheldon, which I went back and read the backstory. This is basically Big Bang Theory, kind of a prequel from a character on Big Bang Theory, which I have not watched Big Bang Theory, which that's a shocker I know to most of our listeners. But this is one of the characters on Big Bang Theory when he was a kid. Like he was this kid that was a genius, like 9 years old, was a genius. The pilot, he started high school as like a 9 or 10-year-old. It's a very interesting series. I watched several episodes in the flight, and then I saw I could get some through. It's still airing.
Yeah, that's right.
But there's some I could watch, like through my on demand, through my television provider. So anyway.
Oh, okay.
So what's your news?
Well, it's on Netflix. It's actually an original series. I
like some of the original Netflix series.
Yeah, some of it's okay. They redid the series Lost in Space.
I saw like a YouTube pre-roll for that series.
Yeah, it's actually good. It's interesting. It's darker than the original.
Yeah.
Obviously. And I don't mean black and white. I just mean it's a little bit darker. It's very clean.
Oh,
I was really surprised actually.
That's one thing. A lot of television these days, it's hard to find that good wholesome.
Well, I
television.
wouldn't call this wholesome, but it's not. It's not really It's clean. It's
clean.
That's
what I'm saying. Wholesome as in clean.
Yeah, I got you.
Like some of the series of the 80s and 70s, like that's good television, and that's hard to come by these days.
But it's a pretty interesting. Of course, the synopsis is that the family is left with a bunch of other families on this large rocket that they built that houses other smaller crafts. It looks like a space station, basically.
So it's kind of like Elon Musk's
it's
BFR.
like, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, there's 10 episodes. This is the first season. And we got one more episode to go. And they get stuck on a planet while trying to reach Alpha Centauri, supposedly. Because, Earth is dying, blah, 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 because it's the end of the world. Anyway, they get stuck on, and now this whole section of series is them trying to get off this planet.
Okay.
because there's a real reason why, and it's not aliens. There's something going on with the planet that they won't survive. I'm not going to give you any more, but it is interesting that I
got a new series to watch. Thank you.
They change around a little bit. If you've ever watched the original series, they change it around a little bit because the robot is, I'll just give this away, it's not known to the Robinsons at the first. Unlike the original series, the robot was with the Robinsons. But anyway, that's just a tidbit. But it has actually kept it's pretty good. I don't know. I'm enjoying it, but I like
Will Robertson.
Yeah,
I can't say that.
Robinson. I like sci-fi, and that's nothing new.
Oh yeah, well, I like it
too. Good sci-fi, and it's pretty good. I think they do a pretty good job. So
I'd like to see the new Star Trek series, but you have to pay to watch it.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing that. And by the way, I saw a few of the first episodes. I didn't like it.
Yeah, well, I didn't see any
myself. Didn't. There's no way I'd pay for it. No way.
Well, speaking of space,
and it's only online. I noticed that. I was like, "What? Really?"
Yes. Well, it's CBS's kind of way to try to get people to subscribe to their own domain.
And I know I just said that after mentioning an only online Netflix series. But yeah.
Netflix is so mainstream these days. I know.
I know.
It's going to be hard to find somebody who doesn't have a Netflix subscription than does.
Yeah. Well, anyway, speaking of space,
SpaceX.
Yes.
So SpaceX launched yet another Falcon 9 rocket, even though seems to be commonplace with SpaceX. It's still fascinating to me, and they kept on having to push the launch off for different reasons, but it actually went off yesterday evening. But I was not at home to watch it live, and it just kind of got on me because I was like, man, I want to watch it live, even though I could go back and watch it later. But I did watch it yesterday evening. I went back and watched the replay of the webcast through YouTube. But yeah, it was to the point I was trying to watch it on my phone when I was driving home. It was but I was like I don't have I didn't have the sufficient bandwidth to do that. So anyway,
SpaceX launched,
they launched the TESS satellite, which is NASA's terrestrial exo.
Right.
Hold a minute. I thought I had it memorized.
Now but wait a minute. It didn't have a payload, right? This is just
no. That is the payload.
Oh, it was the payload.
Transiting exoplanet survey
satellite.
That's
it. It's supposed to survey.
It's a NASA probe, and it's one of the lightest payloads SpaceX has launched to date. It was like
the thing's probably made out of aluminum foil. They're sending out there in space. It'll fly. So
it was just a couple hundred kilograms.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Let me see if I can give you an exact. I should have had this pulled up, and of course I didn't, and I can't find it. There it is.
It's fine.
362 kilograms, 798 pounds.
Yeah.
Very, very light in terms of payloads.
Right.
That have been launched by SpaceX. But this thing is unique. It's got a strange high Earth orbit, but it's going to be it's designed to look for planets outside our solar system.
Correct, right.
And it's supposed to help kind of complement the James Webb Space Telescope, which is coming later on. I don't know if it's probably another couple of years. But anyway, still fascinating to watch SpaceX launch.
Exactly.
The first stage booster, they landed it on their drone ship.
Yep.
Of course, I Still Love You. That's the name of the drone ship. You laugh, but that's the name of the drone ship. Of course, I Still Love You.
I know it is, Guru. I never said it wasn't.
And they have another one called Just Read the Instructions.
Yeah, just read the instructions.
Anyway, they successfully landed yet another booster. It was their 25th, 26th successful landing of a booster, which is very cool. Which no one else is doing. Just by the way. So anyway, but that was that, and then another SpaceX news item is we talked about this on the show before, the BFR, which is going to be their next generation rocket, which is short for Big Falcon Rocket. This is supposedly going to be completely reusable, the entire craft, and it's designed for rapid reusability, of course, eventually. But there's an article from TechCrunch I read that the mayor of Los Angeles confirmed earlier reports that SpaceX will build its largest rocket, the BFR, at the port of Los Angeles. So the company intends to build a manufacturing facility on an 18-acre site at Berth 240, which is one of the places, I guess, where they can bring ships in, and use waterways to transport the massive rocket. And this has been rumored for a while. I've been reading stuff on Reddit and some other places that they've seen like SpaceX employees at this looks like a warehouse kind of right there on the pier. But what they've done with like the Falcon 9 is the size of the Falcon 9, they can transport it by land. So
Right.
they build those. They've got a place in like Hawthorne, California. I think they build those, but they can transport over land to where they need to launch it from. But this is the BFR. It's like, does it have stats in here about the size? Let's see.
Looks like to me it'd be cheaper to build it where you're going to launch it from.
You would think, but I'm not SpaceX. Well, let's just get Elon Musk to come and tell us.
Well,
why.
I know, but I'm not a robot builder. I mean, I'm sorry, a rocket builder either. So,
well, it's reported to be the diameter of the rocket 9 meters, which is 30 feet.
yeah,
So it makes sense to build it if you've got to transport it, build it near water to where you can load it onto like a barge and take it through water.
30 feet in diameter.
In diameter. Now the height of it is rumored to be or reported to be 106 meters tall, or 348 feet.
Yeah.
So
over
roughly
a football field length.
Yeah, like 348 feet. So you're talking
Mm-hmm.
over a football field, but you're talking like over a 30-story building.
Right.
So think like the library here. That's roughly 14 stories. So double the height of the library.
Yeah.
That's a big rocket.
Oh yeah.
It's a big Falcon rocket.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that was interesting. So.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, let's see. Trying to see if there's more information
You
about
got some-
BFR. I'm looking at the Wikipedia article.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be years before it's ready.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was trying to look up, but I mean,
Well, maybe they'll have 6G by then.
maybe.
Because we're just
Maybe
fixing to get
maybe Musk will
5Gs.
have his
satellites
internet,
up. Yeah.
internet set
Yeah,
up.
his internet satellites up.
So because let me just tell you, because let me get on my soapbox for a
Here we
minute.
go. Here's the soapbox.
Yeah, I need like a jingle for that or something. but,
Soapbox jingle.
yeah, I don't have one.
We're good.
Anyway, I could play this.
Yeah. Since he's not here.
Yeah. So I ran out of data on my cell phone plan this month.
Yeah, I know.
With
You told me. I
like
remember that.
about a week to go or so. And luckily, with the plan I have with Big Red Verizon, I go into something called safety mode, so I don't have to I don't get dinged for extra charges.
Yeah, it just goes back to
But
Stone Age.
But let me just say, safety mode basically means you don't have any data. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
that's
awful with a
That's
capital
correct.
awful. It is. Oh my goodness!
It goes back to 3G speeds, and it's
not
LTE. And
It is not 3G. It is barely like dial up 2400 baud.
It seems
modem.
very, very low. I agree with that.
It's got to be slower than 3G. I'm sorry, Verizon.
Maybe, I don't know.
I will say it kept me from going over. Had to pay overage charges. So anyway, get off my soapbox now. So.
Oh my goodness! I cannot believe I'm yawning so much.
Come on now, it's early. We're 30 minutes in the show. You
I
can't
know,
be yawning
it's
yet.
driving me crazy. Well, anyway, earlier I was mentioning about Tim Cook, and
Yes.
I read an article. This is sort of a headline here, but Tim is interviewed, and actually it's by the Sydney Morning Herald or someone at the Sydney Morning Herald. And a couple of the pull quotes here. Tim says, "We don't believe in sort of watering down one or the other," speaking of the Mac and the iPad. Both are incredible.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that both of
Both are
them
expensive.
are incredible is because we push them to do what they do well. And if you begin to merge the two, you begin to make trade-offs and compromises.
True.
Then he goes on to say, so maybe the company would be more efficient at the end of the day, but that's not what it's about. It's about giving people things that they can use to help them change the world, his words, or express their passion or express their creativity. So this merger thing that some folks are fixated on, I don't think that's what users want.
Well, I agree with
End
that.
quote.
I mean, I agree 100% with his statement, because an iPad can't do what a Mac can do, Mac OS, and vice versa.
He goes on to say, I generally use a Mac at work, and I use an iPad at home. And
Okay.
I've always used the iPad when I'm traveling, but I use everything and love everything. Okay, Tim. Okay, loving. Signed, Love from Tim. Love from Cook. Yeah. To Apple with love.
To Apple with love.
That's it.
There's our show title. To Apple with love.
Tim Cook. To Apple with love. Now we hadn't had any show titles. That's
Well,
you. That's you and Bruce's deal.
Well, we have one now. To Apple with love.
From Tim Cook.
Let's leave. To Apple with love sounds better. From Tim Cook kind of gets too wordy. Well, but what's your thoughts on this? I mean, I've said my opinion at least once, if not twice or three times. But what's your opinion? Do you agree with Tim Cook on his what he's saying there?
Well, I think you would have to.
Well, you don't have to.
Well, sure you would. It's Tim Cook.
I wish Andrew was here, 'cause I really want to know from a non-Apple user what their opinion.
I really here again, and I keep coming back to this.
Yeah.
And I guess
can we get him on the phone so we can ask him?
Right. Yeah. I guess you could say that you can compare their devices with other devices. I mean, I guess that's you could say that. And I mean, I guess from a just a sheer technical aspect, as in screws to screws or bolts to bolts, nuts and bolts, or rather processor to processor, RAM to RAM, yes, you can compare them. However, I think the definite one area where the iPad sort of really encapsulates the tablet world is in my opinion, on a couple levels. The performance, that's one. I mean, it really is a good performing product for what you want it to do. If you want to just surf the net or just,
But I can surf the net with
you absolutely can.
With the Android one just as well.
You absolutely can. But that's what I'm saying. I don't disagree with that.
Playing devil's advocate here.
I know. Yeah. You're absolutely right. You can.
Yeah.
But I like the interface maybe a little bit more than the Android interface. Okay, that's one of the things. This is no really order. The other thing is this: apps. You can't argue that the best apps, in my opinion, are on an Apple product. I mean, the best made apps. I have some on my Android device, which is a phone, and I like it, but I have a lot more apps on my iPad. Now, if I had an Android device, I might have some of the similar ones on that, but still, I do like the tablet, and I'm not saying that just because I have one. We also have an Android, and I've said this before. We have another product at home. But anyway, my point is that I think device to device, I don't know how you can take these two and compare them and contrast them. Maybe contrast, but I don't see how you can say, well, you can merge the two. And I guess one would say, well, that's a Surface, a Microsoft Surface. And I can see that, but the problem I come back to is the app side. Microsoft is never going to. I mean, I know that you don't have to use apps on the Microsoft Surface, so you have that differently. It's really an operating system. So, I think that at the end of the day, you're going to use what you like. Tim loves Apple because Apple is his passion, and he's making a great living at it. And look, the bottom line for Apple rather, I don't care what you say. They're making a profit, and that's what they do. They make a profit. That's what the company's supposed to do. That's what they're doing, and they're going to continue to do that.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion on it. I don't know.
Enough said.
I don't know if it's enough said.
Well, I mean, I can't follow that.
Whatever. I'm sure you could. No, I do think.
Sound like Michael's turning into the Apple.
No, I'm not. What I use all kind of stuff. I don't. Well, I don't just stick with one.
For those watching the video, I'm over here in front of a Surface Book and a Surface running the audio.
I know.
And what does Michael have? A MacBook and an iPad.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I do have an iPhone in front of me,
that's true.
I'm slightly blended, but it looks to me like Andrew. That I'm supposed to call you Andrew. Michael is all Apple. He's all in, all Apple.
That's true.
Yep.
Right now, that's certainly true. Except for my Android phone.
Well, you still have a blended environment, but you're heavy Apple, where I'm heavy non-Apple right now.
I think you use both stuff.
I do use both.
Well, see,
stuff.
I'm the same way. I had a Dell laptop for many years until it was stolen.
Well, Dell laptops are awful.
I liked my Dell laptop.
Well, the new ones are awful.
But, of course, it needed a new battery, but that was beside the point.
Because it was
because
awful.
batteries die.
Because it was awful.
Yeah.
I'm channeling my inner Bruce, if you can't tell.
You're doing pretty good with that awful, especially the awful word.
Yes, awful.
Yeah. So anyway, there's Tim Cook, and there has been a lot. Like he even said, there's been a lot of rumors about the next product. There's been rumors about the Mac Pro. What we're
I'm watching
see.
that one. I'm watching that one.
Yeah, because you're interested in that for sure.
Yes, I am, and I don't want to trash.
Lots of other people are interested in
Yeah.
that too. And of course, you've got the new iMac Pro that came out last year. Will they just continue that line, or
I think they will.
Well, what kind of beefy thing, or they just wait another year before they do anything to it? Maybe another year. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
that's coming up in June, obviously, and we've talked about that before. We're a few months out. From
yeah,
that.
WWDC will be here
right
about 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like
it's
early June.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right because it's the 1st of June. So yeah, we're looking at about 6 weeks out. That's true.
Yeah, we're almost in May here.
That's true. So anyway, we got that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I do. We talked about on the show before the transition from a actual PC and even a laptop at home is quickly transitioning. A desktop PCs are a thing of the past in many homes today.
Oh yeah, I agree 100% there. I mean, it's
now some folks
it's already happened.
Right now, if you're a gamer, then
that's different.
I know.
Your
but average home PC,
your average consumer,
yeah. And even a lot of the ones that people are buying are like all-in-ones. If they're not an iMac, there are some other all-in-one that
I mean,
other products.
Good use case. One of my family members, I won't tell you who, obviously on air, but they've got a laptop computer. But what do they do their stuff on? Their phone.
Yeah, that's true. I find myself doing a lot of things on my phone, actually, even at work.
Well,
email on my phone.
Well, I will say this: last night I was at the house and I want to look up something. It was web based.
Right.
What I do? I'll pull out my phone.
Right.
I did not even go try to dig out my laptop.
It's so quick.
Yeah.
And it's so light and so easy. And you can do it. I mean, you might not. You're not going to type a dissertation on there.
Right. I got this fancy Surface Book. I can pop the screen off and go to town with my pencil, my Apple Pencil.
His Apple Pencil on his Microsoft product.
My Microsoft pen, I think. What do they call it? I think a pen.
Yeah, that's it.
There's a pen.
Sure.
I just know it cost $89 with my education discount.
There you go.
Gosh, I paid $100 almost for a stylus.
I know. But it does so much.
But it's Microsoft. It's cool. And
that's right. It's Microsoft.
I'm trying to channel my inner Andrew. And it's not working too well. Sorry, Andrew. I'll save that for you. So what's this story I see? I know we got a few minutes for the break. But Microsoft has run out of Windows Phone stock.
Yes, that was going to tie into another.
Halt the show. Stop the presses.
Yeah, I was going to tell you about that. Apparently, Microsoft, according to a VentureBeat article, has run out of Windows Phone stock. I assume they're that from what I can tell is the Windows Store. And this individual, Emily Protaslinsk, that's not how you pronounce her name. Emily. Actually, it's Emil. I'm sorry. E-M-I-L. Boy, I really butchered that. Emil. Anyway, that's not important. This person has written this article here, and of course the headline is Microsoft has run out of Windows Phone stock. But the thing that's interesting is they talk about how that they've been watching this for some time, and they thought that actually about 6 months ago they would sell out, but now it's 2018. Now they're saying there are still 2 remaining phones. According to last night, they both flipped over to out of stock.
Well, look at the darn prices. I tell you, they run out of stock on them. They like $99.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Alcatel Idol 45 unlocked.
Yeah.
$99.99.
Yeah.
Was originally $299.99.
Yeah. And then the Elite X3 with the dock.
Oh,
almost $800. Now it was selling for almost $300.
that's a good deal. Somebody really didn't care that they get an unsupported.
Another Alcatel phone was $169.
Well, if you want an unsupported phone, I don't care. I just need a phone. That's a good.
Oh
deal.
yeah, that's true. It will be unsupported for sure.
Yeah. But I know someone amongst us is very sad. Not us.
Oh
in the
yeah,
room,
he would.
But,
He would love to get out his Windows phone again, no doubt. He complains about the phone he has all the time.
We should get an iPhone. That just solves.
Well, that is never going to happen.
Well, I had to talk to him about that.
That is never.
I'll talk to him about that.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. I don't think so. No.
Yeah, it'll happen. I'll talk to him about it.
Yeah, you do that.
I'll work on that.
Sure. Hey, Techies Show. Be right back. Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show.
So take me away.
Questions at heytechieshow.com. If you want to ask us a tech question, we'll be glad to try to answer it. We'd rather you call in, but hey, I'm going to work on trying to get that working next week. It just slipped my mind. I've been so busy.
Yeah, that's anyway. Okay.
No, it's not okay.
One thing you're also missing is me singing along to these bumpers.
Do what now?
I was singing along to.
Well, yeah, you can
steal my
just
show.
continue. Just continue.
I'm not going to do it on the air. I'm sorry. I will not.
No,
I will not.
You were in choral.
Yes, I was in high school. I was in choral. Yes,
I bet you can sing. You just telling a story.
Well, I like running the sound. I like running the soundboard at church, and I'll just do that. And
According to a Tech Times article, Guru.
Okay.
By Aaron Mamlet, I believe his name is. Headline: The iPhone 10 made much more money than all Android smartphones combined.
Because it's $1,000 a device. I mean,
Well,
and you've got like some of these Android phones are like $99 retail.
I understand that.
I mean, you sell 10 iPhones, that's $10,000 in revenue versus
now
how many Android phones do you have to sell to equal the same amount of revenue? Okay, it's easy numbers game.
It's not. Yeah, I know that, but all of it's not profit. Majority of
I'm just saying,
well over the.
I'm just saying gross sales. I'm just talking about sales.
I got you,
but we're talking about profit.
Yeah, but that's what they're talking about.
Oh, well.
See, that's
what
it
says sales.
Yeah, but I'm telling you.
Made much more money.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I was trying to get at.
It's severely marked up too.
I understand that, but they can.
Because Android is following the Walmart model, stack it high and price it low, and Apple's like, we're going to charge you the premium price.
Well, that's because they can get it, and they believe their product is a premium device.
I'm not paying $1,000 for a phone. Sorry.
I got that.
I did pay $700, but that's sorry, it was too much. $1,000 too much. Anyway,
it is, but my point is this: that Apple understands, the company understands the importance in a profit. Yeah. And that's how they have marketed.
Well, they have like we've said before, Apple has a premium product. You will pay a premium price, and they have higher profit margins. I mean, it's anything that's a premium product. You have a Lexus versus a Toyota.
I
you have an Altima, not Altima, Acura versus a Honda. Yeah, they're made by some company. I was thinking for a minute. Yeah, anything, you're going to pay more for it, but there's a higher profit margin.
In the fourth quarter of 2017, Apple took home a whopping 86% of profits of the smartphone industry. Out of the total, more than one-third was taken by the 10. It generated
a third of all profit.
Wow! In the 2017
fourth quarter, there's a lot of folks that like to spend a lot of money on a smartphone,
which generated 35% of the total profits of the market. Now think about this: with only 14% of the profits, not of the amount of phones, 14%. Android devices made a 14% profit.
All of them together
of the industry.
Okay.
So that means...
And they probably sold more units, too.
So that means the iPhone 10 was made more profit, twice as much percentage profit, more than twice as much percentage profit.
And the thing is, there was, like I was saying, there's probably more Android actual devices sold.
Right. So the report added that the iPhone 10 actually generated 5 times more profit compared to 600 Android smartphone makers
Apple's,
in the same quarter.
If you want some Apple stock, I guess you need to buy it now. That's probably why it's but it's a gazillion a share. Exactly.
Well, I mean, look, you don't have to buy their product.
No, you don't.
You go want it, and that's what you want, and that's how it works.
We have a capitalism in this country. You have a choice.
Yes.
Well, Apple stock's $172 a share. By the way,
there you go.
Down.
Look, I'm just saying. 2%. I'm not. This is just me. Reading the tea leaves here, so to speak.
That means you need to buy an Apple phone.
No, it doesn't.
I'm just.
No, you can if you want to. I mean, It's not for me. And I've said this before. If I was going to delve into the Apple Watch, then obviously I'd have to find some type of Apple phone.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
So if somebody was like, I want to get a smartphone. I've never had a smartphone before ever. I've always had a flip phone. Well, hang on. Let me finish. This
is gonna be a hard one.
So, if somebody was like, okay, Michael, I want a smartphone. I want to have one of these internet-connected devices where I can do all this cool stuff. What should I get? Android or Apple?
Or Windows Phone.
Well,
you can get it cheap.
They're out of stock. You can't get a Windows Phone. They're out of stock.
Well, you can at a retailer probably somewhere.
Well, I don't want.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Between Android and Apple,
which one would you? Of course, there's BlackBerry.
Which one would you recommend for just the common person that's never had one ever? and they want a
See, that's
smartphone.
tough.
Well, that's why you're the chief techie.
Whatever.
You get the tough ones.
I think they would be fine with either one.
That's not an answer. Not an answer. You're trying to
no, I'm
cop
not.
out.
I'm
cop
not
out.
copping it.
Cop out.
I'm not copping it. I tell you, I think it may be depending. Well, that's not a fair statement to say either. I don't know about the sophistication of the user because either phone can be sophisticated, I guess. Some people who are Apple nutso, they would say that the Android device is a lesser product.
No, it's not.
Yes,
I think,
and I think some are actually.
Technologically. There's let's just say it was between a top of the line Android phone like one of the Samsung ones that are one of the new ones, and like an iPhone 8. I think that's a good comparison.
I tell you what, I think you're going to have to make a decision based on maybe 3 factors. One is money. Certainly,
those are about equal priced now. You can't, I'm willing to spend the same amount of money.
I got it. But,
so price is not an issue here.
Let me finish.
So, all right. What's your other one?
Camera specs.
Okay, that's a fair one.
I do think that maybe at times, no, not maybe at times. Certainly, the newer iPhones with the multi-cameras. Okay,
You're talking like
yes,
the telephoto.
That's correct.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah.
They have some really cool features that are only on their devices. Now, Google has tried to do some of it with software, but it's not the same. I can tell you it's not the same. It's okay, but it's not close.
Okay. So what's your number 3? So Apple's superior in terms of cameras, in your opinion.
Well, it depends on the phone.
Well, I mean, but
again,
if we're looking at the flagship phones of these,
yeah, I would think they probably have the edge in some in most professional minds. I would think because a lot of the professional camera people I know, they have an iPhone of some type. It's not to say that all of them do it. A lot of them do.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had a third one I was thinking of, and of course you nixed my first one, so that kind of got my third one off a little bit.
Again, channeling the inner Bruce.
No. I believe in. Well, I've already said this, so I can't go back on what I've said. I do think if you got it, so I personally think you can't compare the price, but anyway, the camera or some other top specs related to that camera. And then the third thing, and this may not be in any general order, but to me would be the app situation. I've already said it. I think that many of the apps are either work better or rather they you get better service.
Yeah.
They're updated. Now I'm not talking about I'm just talking about a little app developer here. You like this cool little app, but it might either not kept up on Android or it's not made at all on Android.
Mm-hmm.
I find that a lot.
Okay.
I find that a whole lot.
I didn't think it was that prevalent, really.
Oh, I think it is.
Okay.
I actually think it is. There's several apps I have on here that are not on Android, or they cost on Android and they're free.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes. I've run into that.
Because of the pains of
Well,
developing
I think that's part of it.
I don't know.
I do think it's part of that they've already developed it for this. As a matter of fact, I know of one now that the companies that I know they've got a great app on the.
Well, I can tell you from a developer perspective, and I'm not an app developer, but I know enough to know this. You can't just make it once and it works on both.
Correct.
Or you can't make the Apple version and then we can just port it over.
Yeah, I know. I'll always.
That does not work.
Right.
And there's companies that claim to have a development platform that you can build to both, but it's not the same. Not the same. I speak from observation.
Yeah.
Not experience.
Well, then
I'm not an app developer.
Then there's that Windows Universal Platform that they're pushing. Did you know that the next version the next version of some apps like OneNote in the 2019, I saw this today as a matter of fact.
Okay.
The OneNote 2019 will be Windows Universal Platform.
That's going to be
It's going to be an app, basically, Windows Universal Platform.
I would like to know of an app that was built on that platform that's not a Microsoft product. So
yeah, I don't know.
And I would like to do
a
a side-by-side comparison of that app on both iOS and Android That's not a Microsoft product.
Yeah, I got that. I got it.
So anyway, that's just an aside there. So it was interesting though about the iPhone sales and the revenue and stuff. I mean, it just shows how much profit margin Apple has on their products. Because as far as I still know, Android still has the market share.
Well,
more of the market share
worldwide, but nowhere close to the profit. No way.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I know that's what you're saying. It's not even close.
Selling and the Android side of the house, and there's more manufacturers. They're going to sell more units, but they're making less money a lot less money per.
Here's the thing. It's not exactly accurate, and I wanted to bring this up, but I got 2 minutes here. Where this article is not exactly, well, it's not missing the boat, but it's not bringing this into the discussion phase. Okay, it's not carrying the scope of how Android is really making profits. They're not necessarily making it on the device. They're making it on selling data. And that's the reality. Google is making its hands over fist.
But what about HTC? What about all those other device manufacturers? They're not in the services business. They are a hardware company.
Well, but I mean, I'm just saying that
doesn't.
Google is not losing out in this, is what I'm getting at.
I agree. I mean, Google, they're making money all over the place.
Yeah, I know. But
and you are the product too, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Know that.
I know. But
that's another discussion.
But my point is their profit is not tied up in the device. Their profit is in other places related to what happens on the device. That's what I believe. Anyway,
well, they're making money off the services.
I know.
Which is this would be data.
Yeah.
It's just like the software industry. They're going to that software as a service model. We've talked about that on the show before.
Sure. I know we have.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I was just going to add that in as just a last aside to the discussion because I think that it's important. You know, I think that these companies know their profit area and what they're making a profit on, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And Apple will always make a large profit on their hardware. I'm sorry. If you hate it, don't use it. Don't send them the money because I'm telling you, that's their model and they have people to answer to because those people invested and they want their money back. And that's how it works.
The line I always say is you have a choice and speak with your wallet.
There you go. Hey, Techies Show. Our
dose
coming up next.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. 3 federal judges in Chicago are throwing another obstacle in the way of the Trump administration's efforts to penalize so-called sanctuary cities. As NPR's John Burnett explains, the judges, all Republican appointed, say the Justice Department cannot withhold grant money from cities that do not cooperate with immigration authorities.
The administration overstepped its authority by slapping conditions on federal grant money. That's a step only Congress can take, said the appeals court panel in upholding a nationwide injunction. The Justice Department announced in July it would choke off law enforcement grants to Chicago and every other city that doesn't give immigration agents access to their jails to arrest unauthorized immigrants. Ilana Rovner, a judge appointed by George H.W. Bush, said the Attorney General was using, quote, the sword of federal funding to conscript local authorities to help enforce immigration laws. Federal judges in Philadelphia and Los Angeles have made similar rulings that block the Trump administration from penalizing sanctuary cities. John Burnett, NPR News.
The Justice Department's Inspector General is asking prosecutors to examine whether former FBI Director Andrew McCabe broke the law. Deputy Director, that is. NPR's Kerry Johnson reports McCabe was cited for lack of candor about interactions with a reporter.
Inspector General Michael Horowitz has concluded that Andrew McCabe lied to investigators about whether he approved contacts with a Wall Street Journal reporter. Now, watchdogs have referred the matter for possible criminal prosecution. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C. is declining to comment. It's not unusual for an Inspector General to forward his findings to prosecutors, but it's not yet clear whether they will move ahead with an indictment. McCabe says he never meant to mislead anyone. This week, his former boss, James Comey, told NPR he was siding with the Inspector General. Comey says the watchdog investigation is, quote, what accountability looks like. Carrie Johnson, NPR News, Washington.
State prosecutors in Minneapolis now say no one will face criminal charges in connection with the overdose death of singer Prince in 2016, though a doctor who prescribed the musician pain medication will pay a civil penalty. A friend of Prince's who helped the singer obtain pain medication says he's relieved with the outcome. Officials say they've determined Prince died after taking a counterfeit pain medication that was laced with the powerful pain drug fentanyl, something he may not have been aware of. Prince's cousin Charles Smith says he's disappointed with the investigation and still has lots of questions.
There's got to be some reason why, and someone should be held accountable for the fentanyl in there.
Prince apparently became addicted to painkillers as a result of a long-standing hip injury. Lance Armstrong, the one-time cycling superstar, has reached a $5 million settlement with the federal government over charges Armstrong defrauded the U.S. Postal Service, which sponsored his cycle team. Armstrong admitted to doping. On Wall Street, the Dow dropped 83 points. This is NPR.
Technologic.
Hey, Techie Show! Hey, Techie Show!
Use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it.
Welcome into the Hey Techies Show. And the guru is here tonight.
Yes, I am.
For our dose.
Oh, I was ready that time for the dose cue, and you took it away from me.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I did it on purpose.
I know you did.
Yeah, right.
Because I was playing that little Hey Techie Show Bruce little thing, and I know you love it. Like
that doesn't bother me.
Hey, Techie Show!
There was Bruce. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, Bruce. Yeah.
He's called again. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
We miss you, Bruce. Please come back.
That's right. Need somebody else to chime in and give an opinion.
That's right, because
just one more.
Yeah, I'm channeling inner Bruce, but it's wearing me out quickly. I'm getting very fatigued over here.
Right. By the way, in case you didn't know, and it's something I just learned earlier tonight while prepping for the show. If any of you residents live in Parrish, Alabama. By the way, Guru, population 982 for Parrish, Alabama.
Well, it's 982 people there.
Yeah.
Parrish, Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Parrish.
Walker County.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I did not know. And, of course, I guess I'm living a sheltered life. Did you know that apparently we have been taking New York City's poop, human waste, down here in Alabama?
Wow.
Why can't they? They used to dump it in the ocean. Apparently that's been banned.
Well,
and now
shouldn't dump it in the ocean.
I'm sure something would eat it. It's look, it is what it is. But apparently no one in Parrish, Alabama wants it. There is a smelly train. I did not realize this.
The smelly train.
It's poop train.
The poop train.
Yeah, from New York City, by the way.
New York City?
Yeah, did I say it's from New York City? Human poop. Not kidding. This is a real story. One person said, "Oh my goodness, it's just a nightmare here." She said it smells like rotting corpses. Jeez. Or carcasses. Smells like death. They say it's like they're saying that was originally bound for Big Sky Landfill, approximately 20 miles east of Parrish.
Yeah,
I did not know this, but that's where they have been putting New Yorkers' poop since 2017.
I guess they turn into like compost, maybe. I don't know.
Great. Thank you for that.
I don't know. Let's see. They ship their biosolids. Sorry. But they said the last of it left Parrish, according to this article from AL.com.
The what now?
The rest of the sewage left Parrish recently, like today.
Okay. Well, that could be. This right here.
Train loads of material been floating in Alabama since early 2017.
Yeah.
Generating complaints and lawsuits from local towns and counties along the way.
Yeah. Why do we have to take New York City's human debris?
Human debris.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
let's just call it biosolids.
What is the who came up with this? I mean, we have to put up with our politicians. It's bad enough, and now we have to take this.
We need to take a little bit further south, all right? Go to the state,
I don't care.
State capitol, roll it right up.
Nah,
roll it right up the main drag right there to the state house.
Now.
No, I'm being funny.
Now.
I'm being funny.
Well, I guarantee you something, Guru. That would never happen.
Oh no,
we would never go there. I mean, they would put it a lot of places, but that wouldn't be one of them.
They go dump it in the Alabama River. That's probably highly illegal. They would get rid of that.
Well, anyway, I did not. I guess I've been under a rock and did not realize.
I had heard about that on the local news last week because I kind of keep it on the background in the mornings when I'm getting up and dressed and showered.
Well, sometimes we cover local news here, and
we do.
And that would just hit me like.
Where's the tech angle on it? It was on the internet.
There's not one.
It was on the. Was it on the internet?
No, there's no tech angle.
No tech angle.
No. Mm-mm.
Your local news today brought to you by Hey Techies.
That's right. If you wanted to know, there's a poop train. Quite literally. Sorry. I couldn't help it. Couldn't resist when I saw that one. And on another note, by the way, we were talking Apple, and we do that a lot here on the Hey Techie Show.
Really, do we?
We did.
Okay. Didn't know that.
Apple unveils, and I hate to say unveils because I've heard about this about a year ago. They announced they were going to do this, and it's called Daisy the Recycling Robot. They have a program called the Give Back Recycling Program. And I remember maybe it was last year's WWDC. Well, it was one of them, but I was thinking it was last year's, but it might have been even before that. That they were discussed having to be able, they were going to be able to tear down the iPhones and recycle the products of the iPhone. One of their plans is to get to 100% recycling of all their products. Everything made on it can be sent back to the company when it's no longer used and recycled in some way or the other. They claim now that they are using 100% renewable power to power business operations.
I always let me step aside here for a second. How can they assure that their power is coming from 100% renewable sources if they're just getting it off the grid from their utility company? I mean, I've always wondered that, like 100% renewable energy. How do you know that for certain? Because power companies buy and sell power all the time, and
I guess
some of those electrons that Apple's using may have came from one of our coal plants here in Alabama.
Well, they say,
oh my goodness,
they say wind and solar.
I did notice.
Now this is not their store. Business operations. They're talking about that big round place out there in California. I'm sure.
As an aside, though, I've noticed out in the Midwest when I was flying out to San Diego a couple weeks ago, we passed near a wind farm. I've got pictures. I have to.
Oh yeah, I did. I saw. You sent me some.
Did I send you some?
Well, no. Bruce sent me something. Bruce was at a wind farm one day.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think out in Texas, maybe.
Texas. This may have been. I don't know where it was at. It's just I saw it from from that airplane.
Yeah, this article goes on to say that according to Apple, they believe that Daisy can take apart up to 200 iPhones per hour.
200 iPhones an hour.
I think that's amazing, actually.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That kind of came out wrong. That sounded very dorky. Oh, there they are. Trent, wherever Trent is. Apparently my location services was turned on.
Trent, California?
I don't know. I mean,
you don't know.
I do not know. There it is.
Oh, you were flying over.
Yeah, I was flying over.
So you don't know if you were in California yet or not.
Let's see. I was apparently about 500 miles from. I took a picture of the little moving map on the plane. It's like 500 miles from San Diego. So it may have been in far West Texas, maybe.
Yeah.
New Mexico. But yeah, there was a ton of them though. I mean, look. Can't. This is radio, but I mean, I can show you after the show. But I mean, it's just like tons of those little wind farms. It was cool. They had them up on the mountains, and everywhere.
Oh yeah. Well, it's windy.
Yeah, apparently. Did I say, by the way, speaking of flying, that was the coolest approach and landing to any airport I've ever been to, is San Diego.
Really?
I sent you a picture.
Yeah.
I do remember that. You coming in, I mean, you're almost level with the high rises. It was just cool. So cool.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you're flying to San Diego, make sure you're looking out the window.
Sure.
Instead of looking at your movie playing on your screen in front of you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, is it already time for a break?
Well, if I want it to be there, I don't think we need a break. We'll come back and I will
get us out of this rat hole.
I'll finish my VM story.
Oh yeah, the VM story.
Yeah, I hadn't forgotten. Hey, Techies Show. Be back.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
Do you need a job? Are you stuck in a job you don't really like? Do you want to make more money? If you answered yes to any of these questions, your local Alabama Career Center can help you. Call or visit your local Career Center today, where professionals will help you with your resume, let you practice interviewing, and give you the opportunity to train for a job. All of these services are available at no cost to you. Visit us today, www.joblink.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Labor, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Are you ready to quit smoking but can't kick the habit? This is Acting State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris. Research shows that smokers are most successful at quitting when they have support. So contact the Alabama Tobacco Quit line at quitnowalabama.com or by calling 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Information, referrals, and coaching are confidential, and you may be eligible to receive up to an 8-week supply of free nicotine replacement patches.
They say timing is everything. So, starting right here, right now, it's a great time for anybody ready to get some real work done in Alabama. Wake up! It's time to grow. 'Cause here, preparing for success starts before kindergarten, and it never, ever ends. And now, right now, we can deliver the right skills, the knowledge, the tools, and the experts to help put them all to work seamlessly. Whether you're somebody who needs to hire, somebody who wants to get hired, or a student who wants to know how to prepare to get hired, wherever you call home in the great state of Alabama, there's a new unified force for your success and a brighter future. It's time to get to work, Alabama. Alabama works.
Welcome back to the Hey Techies show.
That old church choir.
That's good. It's a good song. Well,
let's talk about your VM story.
Yeah. So anyway,
virtual machine
story. Long story short, because I really don't want to get into the overall details, some more work related, and it's really not interesting. But one particular place we have one of these, we use a product called VirtualBox, and it's free.
Yeah, it's open source.
It's open source.
Yeah, by Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of surprising they give you something free. Anyway,
yeah, it is true.
Anyway, but it's a good product.
However,
I've used it before.
If you ever have to deal with it, or if you ever use it, and you end up having to move the VM, say for instance, in an example, you want to move it off of one hard drive to another.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There are a few steps that you must do for that to work. It makes sense. I did not realize it. You can't just go copy it.
Yeah.
In the actual VM, you have to go and actually remove the links that links the hard drive, the virtual machine hard drive, to where it's stored.
Okay, I did not know that.
So you remove it there, and then there's another spot in another section of the virtual machine manager, and you remove it there. And then you can
you kind of unplug it,
yes,
so to speak.
You're basically detaching it from where it believes its storage is at. Then when you get it moved, you go back to your VM.
You reattach it.
You create a hard drive. You say, okay, I want to connect an existing one, and you connect that back. Otherwise, you get really crazy problems. Errors. Hey, I don't know where this is at. Hey, you copied a drive that has a unique ID of one that's already here.
Wow.
Yeah, just nutty stuff.
But I think we've mentioned this on the show. I know Bruce makes use of these to test things.
Oh, sure. And it's a great product.
And it's good because you can sandbox off.
Right. And that's really what this is for.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into greater detail.
Yeah, but
that's what the reasoning for this usage of this particular.
Or let's say you had a Windows computer or a Mac, because it works on Mac too. And and you wanted to. I want to experiment with Linux because I'm just a geek and I like tinkering with stuff. Well, you could put VirtualBox on your computer. That's a free software, and there's tons of Linux distros out there that you can go and get for free.
Right.
And you could actually just run it in that little VM and just tinker with it to your heart's content.
Right. That's absolutely.
And
correct.
not have to have a second computer. To spin it up on. So it comes in handy. You're pegging the geek meter a little bit with a VM, but hey.
Nah. That's not too bad.
Yeah, I like when you say, well, what do you do? What did you do this week? Oh, I set up some VMs.
Hey,
that's pegging the geek meter.
I wonder, yeah, I suppose. I wonder though if they could create a VM that would help you put together
a VM.
No, that would help you assemble IKEA furniture.
They've already got something for that, don't they?
No, I don't know if they could do that. I've been told, they've
got those fantastic instructions with the pictures that are hard to follow.
Right.
IKEA, are you listening?
According to Singapore, let's see, Reuters talks about in Singapore. Robots in Singapore, they have completed a task of assembling flat-packed IKEA furniture.
Uh-oh.
As though you thought it would never happen, people. Now you can have a future robot that can assemble furniture for you.
Am I dreaming?
IKEA furniture.
Check my temperature.
IKEA furniture. Seriously?
If I have a fever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with IKEA furniture.
Really? I've never had any.
Well, I like the furniture. Most of it is really good quality, and it's not like the typical flat-pack furniture. Some of it is typical, but some of it's not. Like, some of their furniture is flat-pack, but it's like solid wood, so, properly assembled, it's very durable. Because I have IKEA furniture, and I've been very satisfied with it, but what I'm not satisfied with is the assembly, because if you've never those you listening that have put together IKEA furniture can relate, but from somebody like Michael, who's like,
whatever.
Their instructions are all pictures. There is 0 words.
Well, that's because these robots are going to need them too, because they're made. I mean, they probably don't
Well,
read,
this has
read
been like this
English
for years.
Well, I know, but now these robots. I mean, who knows what type?
And you're trying to figure
language
out
these robots have.
Anyway,
They could have Japanese.
That's my love-hate relationship with IKEA furniture. So now I got a robot that can put it together.
But quite possibly, especially if you go to Singapore.
That's a long way to have to bring it back here.
I agree.
Singapore.
They say the scientists spent 3 years programming the robot, made of arms, grippers, sensors, and 3D.
So I wonder how long he attempted to put together his furniture, and he's like, "I give up. Let me spend 3 years."
Yeah, he waited 3 years so he could do it with a robot.
I guess he spent 3 years working
Put
on
it together with a robot.
He spent 3 years trying to put it together. He said, "I'd rather just figure this out. Let me spend 3 more years." Or maybe he bought the furniture and said, "I don't want to put it together, so let me put this robot together."
So yeah, that's right. It took him 3 years to put the robot together. Then the robot, according to this, took 20 minutes putting the
20 minutes
IKEA dining chair together.
IKEA dining chair.
Around 20 minutes.
Let's see if I can look. Do they have a picture of it? What they put together?
There probably is if I take.
Oh yeah, I know. I've seen that chair before at IKEA. Yeah, that's a good chair.
Actually, it shows 2 robots here, but I guess they're calling it one. And by the way, when we say robot, it's like arms on a table.
That's still a robot.
It's more like a manufacturing robot, not like a robot.
Not
like a robot with a head and
kind of like a time lapse video. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but not like a robot.
Look at that remote control. That guy.
I'm not.
It showed a guy.
I didn't play the video, so I'm not.
Well, it started. It did a pre-roll.
Oh yeah, I don't. I try to disable that. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty neat. The guy's talking now.
Oh yeah, that's a really big remote.
I know it's very entertaining for our people listening to the radio.
Wow.
We'll put the link in the show notes. If you want to watch the video, go to heytechieshow.com and we'll have a link to this article.
Yeah, if we ever post it.
Well, you will.
I'm betting so bad at it. Oh yes, I am.
Anyway.
Yes, I am. Anyway, there you go. There's possibly a robot one day to put your because that's been a huge problem. I mean, worldwide, nationwide, everybody apparently has had trouble with IKEA chair frames.
We have jets shooting out parts into the plane, and North Korea's new problem.
Right, of all the problems,
but our IKEA furniture can now be assembled for us.
Yes, we can rest.
Woohoo! I'm so excited. Yes. Anyway, that's interesting though. I need to give you some exposure to some culture, Michael, and take you to IKEA.
No.
Yes.
Why would I need to go there?
I just need to tell your wife to take you.
By the way, on a related note.
Anyway.
A related note.
Related.
Mm-hmm.
How's it related to IKEA?
Well,
you're going to IKEA. That's
a CNET.com article. Are robots people?
Oh, robots.
Europe isn't sure.
Nope, they're not. So they can't decide.
Quick question: if a Terminator traveled back in time and accidentally spilled hot coffee on your lap, would you sue the Terminator or Skynet, the creator of the Terminator?
No. But they traveled through time though, so that kind of adds another calculus.
Yeah. Who do we sue for that? Well, apparently this is a serious discussion because.
So what if somebody went back in time and changed history and it affected?
That's a good point. Can you sue them later?
Yeah, I mean,
I was rich in the future and now I'm not.
Yeah.
How would you know?
It's like temporal court or something.
Yeah.
We have like Judge Judy. Have like Judge Judy temporal edition.
Apparently, the issue is with a report from the European Commission released in 2017 that suggests creating a legal status for robots in the long run so they could be responsible for making good any damage they may cause. Yeah, right. The European Union must prompt the development of AI and robotic industry insofar as to limit health and safety risk to human beings, the letter said. A recommendation of 156 AI experts putting their names to an open letter. Protect human beings at all cost. I wonder if Elon signed that.
No, maybe.
Would he be considered one of 156 AI experts?
I guess. Maybe.
I think he hates AI, so I'm not really sure.
I don't know. He likes rockets, though, and electric cars.
That's true.
And boring tunnels.
Yeah.
So
there's some yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, anyway, that's what I know about that, of which it wasn't much apparently.
So let me switch gears here.
Please.
Let's get us out of this. Yeah, I guess. Oh, we're good on time. I thought we was close to break. Anyway.
Oh no.
So I think I've said this on the show. If I haven't, I know I've said it to you, Michael. Is my love-hate relationship with Walmart's e-commerce.
Oh gosh, what's going on with Walmart's e-commerce?
No, their website is awful.
Uh-oh.
Like it's if there's no, unless you've been living under a rock, like Amazon is this huge behemoth, and Walmart is trying to. They've lost market share to Amazon, and other companies have lost market share to Amazon, but Walmart's trying to go after Amazon and try to get some of their business back, or regain business, or get more business, whatever you want to call it. But you purchase from Amazon, correct?
Very little.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shocker.
Sorry.
I wish Bruce was here, because one thing with Amazon, it's so easy to buy stuff. Like I sat out in the green room before the show and bought something on Amazon. It's like click, 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 done.
Yeah, I got you.
And
it is easy. I can attest to that.
But I've tried buying stuff on Walmart's site, and the search doesn't work right. The site is sluggish. They've got too much. It's a bad experience. You've got to get your e-commerce right. You've got to make it easy. I've told people it's just way too easy to buy stuff on Amazon compared to Walmart or others. But anyway, this article from The Verge, Walmart has announced this past week they're revamping their website.
Oh.
And introducing a completely new design beginning in May. Aside from a visual overhaul, the new site will focus on personalization and specialty shopping experiences. And they had a little comparison it's in this article, so it'll be in the show notes. But it kind of does a little slide back and forth, the current website, and they kind of slide it over what it's going to look like. And, it's clear with more modern fonts. It features what Walmart calls relative photography, otherwise known as humans doing human things. It's definitely a step up from its current potato websites, as The Verge calls it, which feels not unlike an interactive Sunday circular. So anyway,
okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this helps or doesn't help. They also say the site will include new specialty shopping experiences. The company describes this as making categories like furniture and fashion feel like a specialty store by featuring, quote, relevant, bold imagery and seasonal stories, end quote. So they're trying to turn into IKEA or Crate and Barrel or Pier 1, I don't know. Okay. Aside from the website, Walmart has made several other changes to update the company as of late, many of which have been seen as a competitive move against Amazon, such as offering its own meal kits, carrying Soylent, Soylent, and striking a deal to become the exclusive mass retailer of the Kobo e-reader, which that's another story I got to research. But anyway, we'll see how that goes.
I thought Walmart was working on this new deal where you could order your food, and
they're working on that too.
Matter of fact, they got the one in Linlock roped off. They got parking places where you can.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's going to be the grocery pickup. I don't have any information on that. I know people that work there. I need to ask them. But anyway, yeah, that's what I want, and I think Walmart's got an advantage because of their physical footprint in the country. Is they can really capitalize on that if they get their e-commerce right. You got to get that right. Because if it's very clunky to try to go in there and order my produce and my meat and or whatever I need, my grocery list. I'll say grocery list. If it's very clunky to do that, I'd just rather go to the store and get it.
Speaking of e-commerce, the Supreme Court is taking up the internet sales tax case, South Dakota.
Oh, really?
The South Dakota in 2016.
I think I heard about this earlier this week.
They passed a law requiring all but the smallest retailers, including internet companies, to collect taxes on the sales they make in the state. And then, of course, apparently lower courts came back and blocked the law. And now it's gone on to the Supreme Court, or they're hoping it. Let's see. Now, it's the Supreme Court is going to take it up, but we'll see. But there's some interesting side bits here. According to the folks over in South Dakota, or up in South Dakota, they say South Dakota estimates, and this is a high number, I think, that the state could pick up a combined $34 billion a year if the court allows them to tax internet sales. $34 billion?
I don't know. Maybe.
But the General Accounting Office estimates that the number would be at most about 13
billion.
Yeah. But, you know, think about this. And no matter how you feel on this, I don't know if I can word it that way, but think about it from the standpoint of that 13 billion coming out of consumers' pockets to the state for internet sales in the form of taxes.
Well, yes, and
$13 billion on top of what you're already spending. I mean, I think part of this may hurt some sales. It may not be.
Yeah, it potentially could
damper.
I'm gonna take a unique approach on this, and I'm gonna say it probably needs to happen, and this is why. Because over time, you know, this whole law that they're using is like the mail order law. Back in the past, when you would order stuff
right
through mail order, where you would have a catalog or you call and order it through the mail, if the store did not have a physical presence in your state, then you didn't pay sales tax.
Right.
So, but
I understand.
So what's happened over time though is as e-commerce has gotten more and more prevalent,
yes,
Amazon and others, is a lot of people's spending has shifted from traditional brick and mortar retailer to more of that model. So the states and local governments that rely on this revenue, I know here in the South, especially here in Alabama, that's a huge proportion of the money that local and state government has to operate.
Of course.
So they've been losing revenue over time. So, and I think as a citizen and a resident of this state, I think that it would be a good inflow of money so they could do stuff with it. But again, I also want to say they need to make sure they control spending and don't just spend it frivolously, obviously. That's a whole nother debate, and I don't want to turn this into a political discussion. But I think it's going to end up happening. That's my take on it.
Okay,
so like here in Alabama, like Amazon's already got to deal with the state of Alabama where they're collecting sales tax.
Yes. So some of the internet companies that sued to block the law, Wayfair, Overstock, and Newegg, say in their Supreme Court filings that state sales tax systems remain inordinately complex and burdensome during an internet era, just as they were before it began.
I will agree with that statement.
Now, here's what this is not a statement. It's not in quotes. I assume this is just information that maybe the author, who I do not have, says that the number of local tax jurisdictions has doubled to 12,000. The companies say, and local laws vary widely on what goods are subject to sales tax. During back-to-school tax holiday, for example, some states exempt clothing, but others don't.
Yes.
Some states shoes, and the definition of what qualifies as school supplies varies widely.
And they're absolutely right. It's a huge burden for companies because
I see all the sides.
Like here where we live, right here in Jacksonville, Alabama, the state of Alabama gets 4%, right?
Mm-hmm.
The city of Jacksonville gets 5%. This is just on normal retail. I mean, cars are different. There's exceptions. Then the county has a 1% sales tax for a total of 10%. But if you live here in Jacksonville, Alabama, and like Newegg, well, let's say Newegg, since they mentioned the article, they got to know, okay, based on your location,
right,
how much to charge you, and then how much has to be sent to these different authorities. It's a huge burden. I'll give them that. And I mean, and a lot of these companies, especially the ones probably mentioned, they probably have their own homegrown e-commerce system. So
so just
there's nothing like off the shelf they can go buy to do this.
So here's one of
they could, but they're not.
Here's one of the legal problems I think they're going to have, and this is well stated here. This is how it wraps up. The Supreme Court has never held that a sales or use tax can be imposed on a retailer who sells to a customer who lives in a state where the company has no physical presence.
Well, that goes back to that what I talked about earlier.
Right. The justices will issue their decision in the case by late June. According to
this is the Supreme Court.
That's what it makes it sound like. I was beginning to wonder, though. I keep trying to figure this out. It may be the state Supreme Court. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, it's got Supreme Court in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Proper,
let's say relying on the Supreme Court precedent. I'm still.
It may be as in like the federal Supreme Court. I don't know. We'll see. Depending on how this goes, even if it's at a state level, then that kind of gives precedent.
No, it says lower courts block the law relying on Supreme Court precedents. The justices hear the state's opinion. No, that's right. That's it. Okay. Actually, I think it. I wonder if that. Hold on. Let me see if I could get this. When this was April.
This article is
April 16th.
Washington. It's got Washington D.C. as the location, so it's probably the Supreme Court.
April 16th. Today's the 19th. So I think they're talking about. I guess that was heard this week already.
Okay.
Because was that Tuesday? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently heard this week. So I haven't heard any.
We'll see. Just stay tuned, folks. Sometime in late June, so about 2 months out. Now, as a consumer, do I want to pay more money? No, of course. I want to save money, but at the same time, you know, it's a complex situation for sure. And I understand from the retailer's from a retailer's perspective, the cost associated with it's going to make cost of goods go up.
Now, this is interesting. I wonder how they found if this is actually true.
What's that?
I was going to close this article up, but this just caught my eye. Let's see if I can. Let's see here. This is what it says. Forcing internet retailers to pay sales tax everywhere would stifle competition and make it much harder for startups to get into the market, the companies say. In a friend of the court brief, eBay says taxing internet sales would place crushing burdens on small online businesses. What is eBay? Okay. Causing many to curtail. Well, it's not a small online retail. Operations and damaging the national economy. Now, and besides, the companies argue, now this is interesting, Guru, while e-commerce is growing rapidly, it still accounts for only about 9% of all retail sales. That seems hard to believe. That number cannot be right.
Well, you start thinking about
a smaller share than catalog companies had when the Supreme Court exempted them.
Hold
I was finishing the.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, that's interesting.
What I was saying though is, think about how much you spend a month on groceries.
No, I get it. Yeah,
compared to other things.
Yeah,
I can believe it. I can believe that 9%.
So e-commerce, according to this, is only 9% of all retail sales.
Well, what year was that statistic?
It doesn't say.
Even if it was a year or two old, that could be higher now. But it's not that. It's less than 25%, definitely. Because I know me personally, my household, the amount of money that's spent monthly on groceries. Right. That I don't buy, it's not e-commerce, it's traditional brick and mortar. That's a lot of money compared to what I spend through e-commerce.
But yeah, I get that. I just thought it was more than that. I mean, a lot of times you hear stories.
I can't prime my groceries.
A lot of times, I know. A lot of times you hear stories about how online is taking over the local retail sales.
Yeah. Well, I think it's in certain areas, clothing, yes.
Well, I'm sure that's true.
I'm trying to think of some others. Tech, but some of your tech's low margin. I'm thinking of but still that's usually high dollar.
Right.
But clothing can add up quickly, and sometimes that's higher markup. So, because you start thinking about a lot of malls now, they're just shriveling up and dying, unfortunately. But think of what's the majority of your retailers in a mall? Clothing retailers.
Oh yeah,
clothing
absolutely.
retailers.
Oh yeah. Well, that retail is a hard business now. Of course, now some places, they're not doing too bad. It depends on where you are, I guess. Location.
Location.
That's right. Well, we are going to be working on 15 minutes left in this show.
Man, that went by that quick.
I know. The Hey Techie Show will return momentarily. Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show.
You are listening to the Hey Techie Show.
That's right.
I said You Are. The song's You Are by Colton Dixon.
Yeah.
Another great contemporary Christian artists.
Yeah, that's true. And we are back for the last segment here for the Hey Techie Show. And me and Guru have enjoyed talking to you all tonight and hope you've enjoyed listening. We certainly would have been glad to have a caller, but, those kind of I will get it on this week and get that fixed up. And who knows?
Well, I got a real quickie here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was a leaked memo that's warning Apple employees about leaking stuff to the press. So a memo telling them not to leak stuff got leaked to the press. So a new report says that Apple recently sent a memo to its employees warning them not to leak company information. The memo has since been leaked to the media.
Of course.
A reporter from Bloomberg got a copy of the memo, which was posted to an internal Apple message board. The memo warned that anyone caught leaking company information may not just lose their job, but they could also face jail time and fines.
Did somebody leak the memo?
According to that memo, the Apple has caught 29 leakers last year, and 12 of them were arrested. It is unclear who was arrested and for what they were charged with, but Apple says the leakers were company employees, contractors, and supply chain partners. The memo also listed examples of people the company caught, including employees who shared details about the iPhone X, the iPad Pro to a reporter. So
yeah, I'll bet
don't leak, and it gets in the memo. The memo telling people not to leak stuff gets leaked.
I bet you some of these folks were those building those phones over another country.
Probably so.
Oh yeah, wasn't it? What was one of the things was supply chain?
Yeah,
folks,
supply chain partners.
Yeah, I guarantee you.
That's why we get all these pictures of like the iPhone X like months ahead.
Right.
They used to have a pretty tight lid on that stuff. Within the last 5 years, they lost that pretty tight lid. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought that was interesting. So and it's funny because it's a memo about don't leaking got leaked.
Right. Well, now some of you know that ad block. These ad blocks you can add to your browser is something that a lot of people are glad to have, and they do work fairly well. But there has been some discussion, and not only discussion, but lawsuits of these companies, a lot of different companies here wanting to say that the ad blocks should be blocked themselves. Well, apparently a German Supreme Court, not that that's over here, but obviously, but there was a victory for AdBlock Plus plugin. In Germany, the German Supreme Court sided with AdBlock Plus that they could continue. So, anyway, I imagine that, I don't know if that'll come here. I mean, I think these companies are going to have to figure out a way to get around the AdBlock Plus, or just find better ways to have their ads.
Product placement. Or do like the YouTube videos? You have to watch at least the first 10 seconds before you watch your YouTube video. Right. I mean, I'm being funny.
According to, I guess, this article today, we are extremely pleased with the ruling from Germany's Supreme Court in favor of AdBlock Plus against German media publishing company it's Axel Springer. This ruling confirms, just as the regional courts in Munich and Hamburg state previously, that people have the right in Germany to block ads. Well, we're excited that Germany's High Court upheld the right of every internet citizen possession. Gracious day. Upheld the right every internet citizen possesses to block unwanted advertising online. So they've been working on this while. Looks like since 2014. Well, maybe even before that. 2014. This has been going on.
Okay.
So anyway, and in a related article, by the way.
Oh.
Did you know this? Millions of Chrome users, according to a researcher, have actually have installed malware posing as an ad blocker. According to this researcher.
That can happen with any browser, not just Chrome.
So he said, basically, I downloaded it and checked what request the extension was making.
Oh, so it's a Chrome plugin.
Yeah, it's a Chrome plugin.
Okay.
It's not just Chrome. You have to plug. It's a plugin.
Okay.
And this person, see, it's Meskov. I think that's how you say his name. Let's see. Discovered that Ad Remover extension for Chrome, which had over 10 million users, had code hidden inside an image that was loaded from a remote command server, giving the extension creator the ability to change its functions without updating.
Oh.
According to this. This alone is against Google's policies, and after Meshkov wrote about a few examples on AdGuard's blog, many of which had millions of downloads, Chrome removed the extension from the store. Well, good for Google.
Yep, good for Google.
But also mentioned in this article, which I'm not going to read the whole thing, but they're saying many researchers claim that the extensions ability is a place for lots of adware, malware, these type things that are in these extensions and add-on stores. That this is an easier way for them to get by with this, so to speak. It's not as heavily looked at as, say, app stores or these add-on extensions for browsers.
Or maybe they should be.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
just saying.
This one certainly is, but there you go. One about an ad blocker.
And I'm not big on Chrome extensions. I've got a few, especially some with my day job, but I'm very selective about Chrome extensions. Not from a security perspective, which maybe I should be, but I just don't want to clog up my Chrome browser with a bunch of extensions.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, I sort of just like
You like it running vanilla.
Yeah.
I like my Chrome vanilla.
Hey, I don't know about that. Sure.
You want just plain vanilla.
Yeah. Oh, I copied the same link twice. Good grief, Michael.
What's wrong with you, Michael?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I had one more thing. I think.
Please, by all means.
So, Apple is planning to launch a new subscription service. It's kind of rumor-esque. I could play the little bumper, but anyway, we'll skip it. This is really the only rumor I've really got. So, Apple is planning to integrate recently acquired magazine app Texture, which I didn't realize they bought Texture, but they did, into Apple News and debut its own premium subscription offering, according to people familiar with the matter. Another Apple thing you're not supposed to leak to the press.
Yeah.
The move is part of a broader push by the iPhone maker to generate more revenue from online content and services. Just trying to get they can't charge any more for the iPhone, so they're trying to get more revenue other ways.
Right, exactly.
So they bought Texture last month, and Texture lets you just subscribe to more than 200 magazines for $9.99 a month. Apple cut about 20 Texture staff soon after, according to one of the people. So they bought Texture and they cut 20 people. But
wow.
Anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see. There's more about this article, but that's basically the gist of it. Is what are they going to do with Texture? Are they going to turn it into Apple News Plus or something?
Mm-hmm. Have you ever used that Texture?
No, I've heard of it, but no. I just haven't ever used it. Usually I can get what I need, what I want to read, without having to subscribe to, magazines or online services for the most part. So, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's another potential path for Apple to try to explore. And, I mean, they've got the war chest to do it in terms of cash. So they just, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, they just went and bought somebody. They've done that plenty of times in the past.
By the way, apparently, and going back to our early discussion of e-markets, I suppose.
E-commerce?
E-commerce, whatever. Amazon exceeds 100 million Prime subscribers.
Wow. I'm one of them.
100 million.
So I take it you're not a Prime subscriber.
No, I need
Michael, what are we going to do with you?
Why do I? What did we discuss earlier in the show before we even had the show? Michael, it's not groupthink. Michael is.
I'm not saying you got to be groupthink.
Well, I'm sorry. I just don't. I'm not a Prime member. Why do I have to be a Prime member to be tech? I don't understand that.
Now there's all the extra perks of Prime, like the Prime Music, the Prime Video. That's nice, and I don't use a whole lot of that. But when I need to buy something, it's just so easy to buy it on Amazon. I can get it in 2 days. It's at my door.
Yeah, I know.
Like I just ordered something out there in the green room earlier, and it'll be at my house.
Excellent.
It'll be at my house Tuesday.
There you go.
Boom. So
that's great. I'm not against it. I'm just not spending the $100 a year for it. Whatever it is.
That's $99 a year.
So 99 times 100 million.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
$1 billion. No, it's a lot more than that. What is that? I wonder. So 99 times 100
million. 100 million.
That's a lot. Like 9.9 billion.
Mm-hmm.
$9.9 billion.
Just for Amazon Prime now.
Now they have costs associated with that. I mean,
well, I know they do.
Shipping that stuff today is expensive. Especially when you Prime.
There's no way it cost them $9.9 billion.
No,
in a year. I'm sorry. There's no way.
I know from a fact that somebody I know, and I won't say who, they had this big old patio furniture set primed. And that thing, I mean, it was so. I had to put it together and try to drag it in the house.
Well, I didn't realize that would things.
You can prime everything.
I thought some things were you might not be prime.
Well, that was. I mean, some of that stuff is expensive to ship. So in my opinion, just from what I purchased from Amazon over the year, I've paid for the shipping more times over than what I pay for Prime. So I'm willing to pay it. And I know there's people like Michael that don't. That's fine. You have a choice.
Absolutely.
And I choose Prime.
Yeah.
And Bruce does too.
Yeah, I know he does. Yeah.
And I really wish Bruce was here right now because we
wouldn't bother me. I mean, it's no big deal.
We're going to have you on Prime for it's over with.
Right. By the way, in another side note, that has nothing to do with Prime, Japan to lift ban on growing human organs in animals. That's been a thing that countries have been fighting for some time.
I wonder if you can prime them when they're done.
I don't know.
When they're ready, can you prime it?
Can you prime it? Yeah. Yes.
Oh, me.
Under the auspice of the Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology Ministry, the panel produced a report on research involving the development of human organs in the bodies of pigs. Great.
I wonder if you can buy a pig from Amazon Prime. Probably can.
Yeah. With a human organ inside it, maybe.
Maybe one day.
No?
From Japan. 2 day shipping.
Yeah. Get your new get your new kidney in 2 days.
2 day prime it.
Liver. 2 day prime it.
Prime it.
Yeah.
Ship it right to your doctor.
Well, the Guru and I have enjoyed this evening immensely. We've had a lot of fun going back and forth and discussing things. We are so sorry that Bruce cannot make it into the show for whatever reason. I don't know. He's must have been busy. But from all of us to all of you, have a fabulous weekend.